Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Any Given Sunday. This is Kev, and this is BMBBH. Let me make you aware of what's scrolling across the bottom of the screen. Like, share, and if this is your first time here, please do subscribe. Also, my Cash App, a $ BMBBH for life is scrolling across the bottom of the screen, and the Cash App is available. So, yeah, the sponsor for tonight's stream once again is Greg. Greg did the highest donation last night, and that's how you become a sponsor. So, if you would like to, become a sponsor of the next stream, just be able to donate the most money and, support. Yeah. So, yeah. So anyway, just a few things to unpack tonight. Uh, I won't keep you guys very long, but who knows where this show is going to go tonight. So here we are once again. So let's see who's in the chat right now. All right, Winston Tokahisa, what's going on? Says that black men being brutally honest. Hashtag LLTHLS. That's long live the habitual lie steppers. RPM also with the LLTHLS. Long live the habitual lie steppers. Long live, brothers. Thank you for being here. Yeah. Tonight's show is is something that I have never ever really been a fan of amongst our people, and our people use this to sort of play hard and act like it's something that really doesn't bother us as a people, but it's for me is I'm pretty black and white. Let me hold on one second. Um, let me change the brand logo from Wolfpack to black and white. And this is what a lot of people don't understand about me, that I'm pretty black and white when it comes to certain things. And a lot of people say, well, you should diversify your palette of thinking. And it's like, nah, I'm probably never ever gonna do that because I'm a straight thinker. I'm a straight shooter. I'm a straight black man, and that's what being brutally honest is all about. I can't dance around things for everyone's feelings and such. Is not who I am at the end of the day. So it's like, and I'm gonna tell you this: I've never been a fan of racism that is perpetrated against blacks. I can't look past it. I'm not one of these dudes that's cool with white dudes using the N word, and I've seen that. I've seen it. I've seen a white dude use the N word. I'll jump up, and then all the other black guys in the area telling me to chill. It's like I say, y'all some weak motherfuckers, and I would tell it to them just like that. And the difference between me and junior high, um, being a frail 4'11", 95 pounds, that particular me was nearly 6 feet and over 200 pounds. So I became pretty fearsome in my resolve as far as you know how I dealt with other races of people. No, you couldn't pull that shit around me like they pulled it around other people. And a lot of us were like that. And it was something that saddened me. Now, it saddened me, but not in the way where I'm just going around moping and crying. It was more like a disappointment sad. Like, and I do get it. I do get it. A lot of us had things happen in our lives that really disappointed us and our people so much to the point where we don't know what being on code is. And and that's a dream of mine. I really wish for us to get on code with certain things. I mean, don't let these white people slide with this shit. Now, this is not going to be. Let me throw some disclaimers out there. This is not going to be a broadcast about how much energy that we put into attacking our own. No, 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 no. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Let me stop lying. This is not a broadcast on like how much energy that we put into attacking, I would say, black men into space because some of them niggas deserve it. I'm just gonna say it just like that. Some of them do deserve it because they've been quite off code, and this ain't gonna be a well, you dudes are attacking Kevin Samuels, and y'all not attacking these white boys that's coming in, and it's not gonna be so much about that either because KS can save himself if he wants to, or if he wants to put energy into something like that, he can. What's the point of me coming in and be like, here I come to save the day? No, this also ain't a broadcast about how you guys, some of you, may have a problem with the space itself, or as what we like to call the black manosphere, because I've already covered that. It's not really so much the space itself, it's the fact that it's black men, you know. And I get it. There are many, many internal problems we have as black men, besides people on the outside and how they view us, and, you know, um, the women that, share our skin color are not on code with us as well, But when I say forgiving racism, I can't just say, hey, black men, and not say, hey, black women, because we're all included in this. And the messages that the children are getting, especially the Gen Zs, is that they shouldn't care about this, although that there's a total history behind it. And shit, Gen Z, they don't give a fuck. They clearly don't give a fuck about race. They don't, and a lot of them don't give a fuck about sexuality either. And what have we done as the previous generations, the boomers, the Gen X's, and the millennials? What reasons have we given Gen Z for them to give a fuck about this? Because we haven't. Because we keep turning around and doing the same buck dancing ass shit that it seems to be passed down from generation to generation. And one a huge example is how we support the Democratic Party. You know, now I'm not saying that we should have in mass supported Donald Trump or anything like that. And I mean, like, really, we should have, at the end of the day. But is this for me? It's just kind of tough for me to forgive any kind of racism. But at the same time, what we as a people should have looked at is who was actually best for the race itself. You know, I was having a discussion with someone the other day on social media, and they were telling me that it was really stupid. It was politically stupid to bring up the crime bill. And a lot of us, a lot of young men back then did make the choice to wild out. And the crime bill and the support black people showed for the crime bill, uh, that the Clinton administration pushed and Joe Biden and another senator wrote. I mean, the support that our people showed for it. And I told this to my parents, who were big, staunch Democratic supporters. And, I expect that from the previous generation. Because once Lyndon Baines Johnson signed that civil rights bill and took a picture with Martin Luther King, they roped us in. Lyndon Baines Johnson was like, "Oh, I have black people vote Democrat for 200 years." Yeah. What it did was it exposed our laziness in being proactive and fixing our own shit. No community, and I mean like, I wouldn't suggest anyone put themselves in danger, to help a community, because there have been plenty of black men that have done that and have paid the price with their lives. And to this day, none of that shit made any sense. I mean, the effort, yeah, but the way that some of these guys went out, it did not make any sense at all. And sometimes I do get tired of us trying to rely on politicians and people outside the community to fix this for us. One thing that we have to understand is that there is this thing called human choice. And I push and I push and I push and I push that on this channel. We have to make better human choices. We always have a choice. There's always a choice. But the whole point of this broadcast is I believe that when we forgive racism and then act like it isn't a thing to us, that's a display of weakness on our part. You can like what I'm saying, you can not like what I'm saying, but y'all know to an extent that I am telling the truth. Why are we so okay with other races being racist toward us all of a sudden? The only time we do scream about racism is when, it's time to vote for a president. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. When Obama became president that first time, I was very, very excited. I was screaming. I was even one of the ones screaming, "My president's black." And one of the major reasons that I was screaming that was because of the fact that I knew why white folks were mad about that shit. I mean, they weren't mad because it was a political setback. They were mad because they considered that dude black. And shit, for that moment, I consider that man black too. Even though I knew he had a white parent. And I gotta tell you, I voted for him twice. And I waited to the very last day of his presidency to actually do something effectively tangible for black people. And it never happened. It never happened. I ain't gonna lie. I was sick when Trump got voted in to be president. I was like, wow. And it wasn't like I was a huge fan of Hillary Clinton because Hillary Clinton participated in all that crap too back in the 90s with the crime bill and then calling black people super predators. But I kind of drunk the Kool-Aid. My guy Bernie didn't get the bid for president, so I voted for Hillary Clinton because I was doing that lesser of two evils crap. This was back in 2016 when Trump won. I was like, oh my God, it's over with. What's going to happen? Oh, gloom and doom, gloom and doom. And at the end of his presidency, I was thinking like things weren't so bad, because I really did not like Joe Biden. I really did not like him. And Joe Biden, I watched a politician who wrote policies, not only the crime bill, but the crack era laws. And I'm sitting up there like, this dude was like, he was a politician for about 50 years. So where was he when at the beginning of his political career? What were his views? Then you see all these old videos of Joe Biden surfacing saying that he didn't want to send his kids to school with black kids. What is they calling it, a jungle or something like that? I don't quite remember the wording, but it was pretty bad. And all of a sudden, you saw a bunch of our people being very forgetful and forgiving of Joe Biden just because of their disdain for Donald Trump, who, quite frankly, was this country first. Let's do some things for this country right here. So when you're dealing with two racists, I would say, why didn't we just pick the one that would like stay out of black people's way, which was really Donald Trump. And there's plenty of evidence to support that, rather than somebody like Joe Biden who didn't offer anything but symbolism. And you would think that what could have killed his campaign was basically telling voters, black voters, if you have a problem with choosing between me and Trump, then you ain't black. And I'm like, what in the hell? How in the hell is a white man telling black people that we aren't black if we didn't, if we had a hard time deciding for him? And I wasn't exactly the happiest, most thrilled person when that happened, but what even thrilled me even less was the fact that our people were letting it slide. They were letting it slide. They were like, "Oh, we don't care. He just made a mistake. He was just excited. It was just a slip of the tongue." I'm like, that's more than a slip of the tongue, though. And then people started looking at me like I was crazy. Or what? You must be for Trump. People were Trump triggered. People had Trump derangement syndrome. Like, it was ridiculous. They were not willing to look at the racism of one guy for the like because of the racism of another guy. And who was there to sit there and say that? I don't know, but I mean, really, if you really look at the careers, the political careers, the lesser of two evils was the guy that they were saying was racist, 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 the one they kept calling the racist. But I ain't gonna get too, I'm not doing, I'm not trying to sound like that I'm doing Trump defense or anything like that. Like, I mean, I don't care if people get mad, but see, the facts are the facts. And those 4 years were more productive for blacks when Trump was in office than the 8 years that Obama was in office. I mean, Obama in his constant virtue signaling, uh, just I don't know, filling out the brackets for his predictions for the NCAA March Madness tournament, having celebrities eat dinner with him. It was basically he was like the celebrity president. And then when Biden got in office, like it was people dancing in the streets because, ooh, ding dong, the big bad racist is gone. And to this day, what has he done for us? What has he done for blacks? Now, listen up, guys. This is the part where I'm about to tell you, and I think I already pretty much said this. Stop relying on these politicians. We should be doing some of these things for ourselves. We should start setting things up for ourselves. We should we should we should have our own political system at this point, because we cannot rely on the current political system that we have, because it's more along the lines of people who were put in place for certain things to happen, rather than somebody that was just going to outright do stuff for blacks, give blacks things that we should have had a long time ago. Like, I'm not going to fight against reparations. I know there's a lot of content creators that say that, hey, we shouldn't be, we don't deserve reparations. Stop worrying about reparations. And my thing is like, no, we should be worried about some form of reparations. We should be worried about it, but I don't believe it's going to happen in my lifetime. So, I mean, that's that. That's that. I mean, politically, we don't know how to do for ourselves as far as our people. Some of us are waking up to it. It's not happening fast enough. But what we have done through our political affiliations is that we have forgiven the very party that kept us consistently in a bad spot in the first place. And we believe that, when they say things like Wakanda forever, when they get the Black Caucus to sing us Negro spirituals and everything, that everything is okay. And it does seem like the people in the space are the ones that the most they're waking up to it, and we are the ones that are most aware of what's going on. And we receive a lot of criticism for that, for not following the crowd. Now back to the guy that told me that it was politically stupid to keep bringing up the crime bill. This guy brought up, I guess, Trump's housing practices back in the day. How it was said that he was denying blacks housing opportunities. So my question to him after that was, okay, wait a minute. You're going to be mad at Trump for some housing practices, but you're not mad at Biden for the crime bill. So, but because let's face it. I mean, like what was happening was that there were plenty of practices and systemic setbacks that black people had um, as far as getting things done. You know, and Trump was a very small part of that. But you had something like the crime bill that was widespread. That really showed the laziness of the leaders in the black community, of the people who should have been taking care of the so-called quote unquote black community, black people themselves, relying on somebody with a past racist record to fix things for us. And look, you can say what you want to say. You can very well say what you want to say about what I'm saying right now. But like I said, y'all know to an extent that I'm telling the truth. My disappointment is in the fact that we as a people, we won't do this for ourselves. We keep sinking more and more into an ignorant way of life. And yeah, it is some of the previous generation's fault, but it's some of you guys' fault too. So let me see who's in the comment section. Let me see who's in the comment section. Yeah, thank you for stopping by, people. Okay, I already gave shout out to Winston Tokisa, RPM, Shaka Nulu, what's going on? Jamil Sower, what's going on? Yep. Hybrid catastrophic impact X83rd power, what's up? Phil Brad. Phil Brad said that you're gonna get so tired of winning. Okay. Well, yeah, we're gonna win one day. We're gonna win, and that's just how it's gonna be. Shoot. Let me stop rambling. Yeah, Jamil Sword talking about Lyndon Johnson. Johnson showed white folks that tokenism is our weakness. Yep. Yep. Indigenous TV. He said, Kev, we got bigger issues. Black people are currently in a more accelerated version of the same process of the evolution that everyone else in America is going through. Racism is the least of our worries. I mean, it is at this point. It is at this point, but forgiving it, I mean, I'm not here to sit up there and say racism is our biggest problem, but forgiving racism is something within itself that is kind of stupid. I mean, is you're right. I absolutely agree with you when you say this. Hybrid catastrophic impact X83rd power. Obama only benefited women and LGBT. Yeah, it was this thing going around that they were saying that Obama was the first gay president, not the first black president. They actually gave that distinguishment to Bill Clinton. which was sad. LaShawn Jefferson, I can only forgive them because God said, got them first. But got them devil first, but up above ground, oh hell no. Jamil Sowers said, Crime Bill Joe cannot be redeemed for how much carnage he inflicted on black men. Yeah, but a lot of people forgave him because, like I said, they hated Trump that much. Activate beats. I believe it, but cops and racist whites attacks definitely went up. And with Joe, he's pretty much Trump, but with more people that believe in Biden. SMH. Indigenous TV said at Activate Beats, he's nothing like Trump. Winston Tokahisa said they're both racist. Hybrid Catastrophic Impact X83rd Power said black women will never give up on the Democratic Party. Now, well, at this point, why should they? I mean, I'm not gonna be one of these guys that's gonna ever shame our quote unquote female counterparts into trying getting back on our page. They're gonna have to do that for themselves. Boy, Indigenous TV says Biden is about to clusterfuck this country into World War III, and his first term isn't even over yet. Trump started zero wars. Count them with me. Zero, zero, zero wars. As an anti-war libertarian, I give him credit. Yeah, facts are facts. Activate Beat said Biden don't really mind the LWQZ community. Other than that, Trump used illegal Chinese and Mexican labor to fix his $1 million homes and hotels, but would tell you they shouldn't be here. Okay. Hybrid Catastrophic Impact X83rd Power said, got my first class ticket to Nigeria when the war comes. Indigenous TV argues, like literally, Donald Trump was the last president we had who didn't nation build or get America bogged down in a bullshit war in some prehistoric desert. That's huge in my book. Yeah. Now, yeah. So we know what situation we're in with Biden, and let me say something. Like this next midterm election and the next presidential election is going to be very telling about how this country is going to move forward. It's going to be very telling, and hopefully, we make some better decisions. But I mean, as long as you let this WS media control you and control your thinking, things will never get better. All I'm saying is that we as a people need to be more proactive in helping ourselves, whether you want to hear that or not. All right. Now, I did say that I was going to mention something that I mentioned last night. I was telling you guys about, back in the day how I managed at this steakhouse, and I let a lot of hood people in and gave them jobs. I mean, they came to me with all kinds of stories. A couple of which was like, my other job is about to let me go. Kevin, can you look out for me? Look out for my homie and whatever. And see, here's my whole thing about that. Uh, oh, what up, Marco Ross? What's going on? And here was my whole thing about that. I really wanted to be the guy that helped my people out. And this was back in the mid 2000s. I wanted to help my people out. I had no problem with that because I've been in an industry where I see white dudes slip through the cracks and make hella progression in a short amount of time, while hardworking blacks were kept in position just because we were workhorses. And one hard lesson that I had to learn was, even with all of that, you are supporting someone else's dream. Because I was tricked into the whole, if you work hard, you work hard enough, your hard work is gonna pay off, blah blah blah. And it is, and I gotta admit, I come from a generation of people who previous generation didn't teach us to be go-getters and and an entrepreneur mindset, so we can go get it for ourselves. See, this is why I always say that this space is so important, because you have men that will encourage you to do things that your parents didn't encourage you to do. I had to tell a certain content creator that now we are privy to information that our fathers and our grandfathers did not have, because the information was withheld from us because we were in a system that did not want to see us do any better. So now that we have this information, instead of being condescending as fuck about it, why don't we start delving this information out to the younger crowd so they can have a better chance than we did? You know, so like I said, I was tricked into that dream. If I busted my ass and I worked hard, then I was gonna get some type of great reward at the end of all of it. And you know what? That great reward never happened. I mean, I worked hard, uh, tried to learn from my mistakes, I kept the cost down and never got any credit for it, because see, right above me were a bunch of white folks. And below me was a bunch of black folks that I gave chances to, and I gave, that, I looked out for. And and it's just like, look, I felt good about that at first. I'm finally helping my people out. I'm getting my people jobs, getting them employment, helping them take care of their personal and financial needs. And I eventually got stabbed in my back. Now, I know that there are two sides to every story. I may be, I may be trying to shit y'all at some point, but which I'm not, I guarantee it. But I'll tell you what I did wrong initially. I was kind of laxed on the policy as far as like the harder workers went. And what they did was, instead of saying, hey, you know what, Kevin's a cool guy, let's keep him around. He as long as we work hard for him, he's not going to be that hard on us. No, that did not happen. Marco Ross, thank you for the super sticker. I really appreciate the support. Um, and it's okay. Here's what happened. The boss got fired. No, he didn't get fired. He left, and then a couple people above got fired. And then this redneck came in and took over the place and started firing some of the managers. I survived for a little while. But what happened was, when you hold our people to a huge level of accountability, which I did, I wasn't easy on the guys. I'm like, look, we're running a very busy establishment. We need everybody's contribution. What happened was, just things started to get harder for me. It's like, no matter how great I did, it just seems like that. It's just like, it was just, it seemed as if I was taking more and more backward steps. And what I was finding out was, a lot of the staff that I hired was going behind my back and telling the redneck white man, like, this dude was redneckish as fuck too. I mean, you had that comedian Jeff Foxworthy. You might be a redneck if, like, it was like, you might be a redneck if you were that guy. And they start like they really started to go in on me behind my back. I had to find this out through the guys that I was cool with. Cause let me tell you something. If you are managing an establishment with black guys under you, do not ever bend from the rules. Now, I know we're in 2022, it's a different mindset. You guys are more, self minded, you're more doing for yourselves. Some of you guys are doing extremely well, and I'm proud of you for it. But for the guys that are like that are still in the trenches like that, I gotta tell you, once you get to the position, don't give your people any kind of don't give your people any kind of slack, any kind of leeway. Let me tell you a couple of the things that I did wrong. Number one, I walked outside one day and like maybe I caught 5 or 6 of my core workers. They were out in the parking lot and they were burning one. And what I mean by burning one is they rolled up a blunt and they were smoking during work. My mistake was I didn't cut them loose right then and there. I ain't care shit. I smoked, but I smoked on my own time. I ain't smoke on the damn premises. So I was like, wow, if I just fired all these guys right then and there like that, then I would lose like a good part of my staff. So I was thinking in like a business sense. It's like, okay, guys, you keep this shit hush hush and just continue to work hard for me and everything will be cool. Trust me, eventually that shit then would not have worked. And one of the guys even tried to throw another guy up under the bus, and he was out there smoking with everybody else. But that gave them the message that, hey, you know what? Fuck this guy. You know what I'm saying? It's like, he didn't do what he was supposed to do. And like I said, I should have fired every one of them. But I didn't. I gave him a chance. I gave him a break. And then when things got really bad, as like I got to the point where I stopped giving a fuck somewhat. I used to have card games at the house, at my apartment at the time. I used to have card games there. I used to let them gather there, the staff. I thought, because I thought I was cool with them. I thought I was cool with them. I was like, yeah, let's play some card games. It will increase the camaraderie. Now we're still in the mid 2000s now, and that worked against me more than anything because a couple of them guys were going back and telling the boss everything that went on. Oh man, they smoking weed, And one thing I didn't know, the guys were going outside snorting. And it's like, I didn't look, I was the kind of guy, it's okay, y'all can smoke all you want, but don't do that. Don't bring that white stuff in here. I don't allow that shit. And what happened? what my undoing eventually was, I had to fire one of them. And then the guy got mad, acted like a little girl, and went back and told the redneck everything. And, 3 months later, I was done. And, I blame myself for that. I blame myself for being the one that slipped. I wasn't ever the type like, it was like I was kind of in disbelief because I felt betrayed. I felt betrayed, but it was like I was more mad at myself than anything. I mean, one good thing did come off. One of the little servers that I wanted to kind of hit up. Shoot, we went on like a sexual romp like none other for like 6 weeks. It was like almost every day for 6 weeks. So, it was kind of like a frown turned upside down, and I was unemployed the entire time. So I had a little fun being unemployed for that time. But, eventually I knew I had to get another job. But outside of that, I learned a very valuable lesson. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. Now, I pretty much knew this kind of growing up. Like I said, I told you about my junior high exploits and how the so called quote unquote gang members didn't like me, even though all of us were black. Me being from Montgomery, Alabama, I was very privy and sensitive to the plights of black folks. But that, I mean, it was what it was. Now let me take you to high school. Oh, Ray Hummer and the Hummer Force. Too many grimy black folks out here. Salute, brother. Yeah, unfortunately. And these same black folks that'll sit up there and put an attack on you will forgive the white guy. Shoot, I don't know if some of y'all remember, like weeks and weeks ago, I was telling you about this band of brothers, black dudes that I went to high school with. All of them looked different, so I knew what happened. All of them had different moms, but it was like these guys, you know, while I was in school, they jumped this dude. They beat him up, and they didn't really have a good reason for beating him up, except for they said, well, because we didn't like him. Not that this guy said anything to them or was bothering them, but since he was one of those guys that focused on himself and did his schoolwork and did what the fuck he was supposed to do, they didn't like him. And then when I saw who this guy was, he was kind of a scraggly little man. He wore glasses and he was pretty reserved. So I was thinking maybe they picked at this guy and he stood up for himself, because that's what happened to me in junior high. They were picking at me. I stood up for myself and they made me pay for it for weeks on end. This same band of brothers, some white kid transferred it to the school. And his way of fitting in was he was wearing saggy pants. He was wearing the big white t-shirt. That was before the white t-shirt really became popular. And, started kind of speaking our lingo. And he hung out with these same band of brothers. The brothers that jumped the black kid hung out with him tight, strong. That was the first time I ever heard the terminology, oh man, that's a cool ass white boy. That was the first time I ever heard that shit. And it was upsetting. It was upsetting. I was like, why would y'all jump on the black kid but hang out with the white kid? And I even asked one of the brothers. I was like, why would y'all do that? Man, come on, man. That dude cool as fuck, man. He cool. Like, just based on the fact that, and I've heard a content creator say this before. It's like we kind of we get off code and we kind of let white people in when they know rap songs, when they know rap lyrics, and it was that simple. He knew a few rap songs, and then it was pathetic. I said, you guys supposed to be the hardest guys in the hood, and y'all just gonna let this white kid come in and just be like all cool with y'all like that? I'm like, seriously, you guys are messed up. I don't get it though. It might be like Indigenous TV said, we're on Krypton right now. Would they let him say the N word? Let me tell you something. I've been on sets where white dudes kind of use the N word and they were use it in a joking manner. Like, I even heard one of them say, "What up, my nigga?" And then, like, another guy would, like, come back and say, "What up, my cracker?" And then, like, would be like, "Oh, well, we don't get mad because of stuff like that. We cool anyway." I'm like, man, fuck y'all. So I just didn't hang out with them guys. It's like, I just resented them for that shit. Indigenous TV, black people are taught that white people have more inherent value than other black people. Yeah, when we say stuff like the white man's ice is colder, white is better. Like, my sister-in-law sent my nephew to a white Catholic school instead of sending him to the black Catholic school. Now, I grew up in the black Catholic school, and we had a better understanding for each other. But when my nephew went to that white Catholic school, he was always subject to little white boys using the N word. And he didn't tell me this till after he got out of that school. And it was culture shock for him. And it was culture shock for him because he went straight from that white Catholic high school to an HBCU. And in that HBCU, he started to gain a little understanding of what his people actually had been through. But he would tell me all the time. It was like the little white dudes, they would use the N word and they'll immediately look at him and say, "But we're not talking about you." And he would accept that. And then I would tell him, I had to be the one to tell him. I'm like, look, no, 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 that's unacceptable. You don't let any white person use the N word. Winston Token, he said, white is right. But I'm glad you guys in the chat, I'm glad you more so along the lines know what I'm talking about. I don't, and I've said this before and I'll say it again. I don't give out N word passes. There was this like a few years ago. I was working with this white girl, and she was very shapely, and she thought she could use the N word. I don't hit women, but it sure crossed my mind. I was like, man, I don't give a fuck how many black guys you fuck. You ain't finna use that N word like that. So I don't care. So you get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Indigenous TV. I was Becky hunting in high school. I was knocking down white girls every other weekend. I messed with some of the freakiest white 304s I ever known as a 17-year-old. Mm. Indigenous TV said these white girls in St. Louis are BBC holics, especially when I went to high school at. And I mean that's cool. That's cool. My recommendation to young black men is get all the pussy you can. Well, don't get an STD and don't get anybody pregnant, but get all the pussy you can, brothers. And shoot, I mean, if it come from a white girl, if it come from a Becky, if it come from a Ling Ling, a Maria, even if it come from a Keisha, hey, get all that you can, but don't be tricked into this whole, you know, you a sellout if you mess with Becky because that doesn't matter at this point. And let me tell you why. Let me give an example why it doesn't matter in today's climate. And let me use this space as an example. Um, now I'm about to bring up a certain content creator. It's not for like I'm not finna complain about this guy. What I don't get is how us as black men let him get away with saying all the slick shit about us that he does. But I'm talking about a guy who I believe Tommy referred to as Creepy Cohen. And like I said, this is not going to be a complaint rant about him. It's just that, Marco Ross, I see you down there. He said, I heard Eskimo pussy is not that good. Shit. That shit stay cold, man. They stay at igloos. But it's like Cohen, like I said, he can have all the divestors, all the bed wenches, all the black women in his comments praising him for saying stuff that is really non-factual, and you don't have to be factual at that level anyway. All you have to be is white. You know, it's like this. I don't care about that because what he's doing is he's actually exposing how we are as a people through them. He's exposing it. Like I said, I was watching your boy's broadcast the other night, and he was looking at them comment sections. Them comment sections are cringy as fuck. I almost left a comment, but then I saw how that shit was going. I was like, nah, I ain't finna waste my time arguing with any of these bitches. I'm not like not at all. It's like I control pretty much. No, well, how indigenous say we just drop bombs. I can drop bombs all day until the area looks bombed out, and that shit wouldn't do anything. Not in that case. And plus, with creepy Cohen, well, I ain't gonna take Tommy's word. Cohen Nanik, with that guy, what he's using is a brilliant content strategy. He is preying on insecurities, and that and that right there can be pretty dangerous, if you ask me. I mean, what I don't do is prey on insecurities. That's very predatory. But I'm not here to take the white guy down. Like I said, if that's what he wants to do, shoot, let him. And it's a lot of these women, like what I did read in the comment section, a lot of these women that be over here in this space talking about us, talking about how we are, they were over in that comment section praising him. Shit, I think I saw Sugar Bomb over there praising this guy. Oh my God! Thanks for telling the truth. They like the B Dubs in his comment section. They act like a lot of these black dudes and these simps. Whenever a lot of these, I will say these pick Mishas, which that's not a. I'm using that word as an example. I don't like using that word, but a lot of these girls who figured out their content strategy is just pander to what black men have been saying for all this time. They sound like the dudes that praise the black women panderers. Oh my God, thank you. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I remember when that other guy came over here and started talking about the space. The one the guy that had the white wife. I don't know if you remember that guy, but he was the one that said that this space, the black manosphere, was full of weirdos. And I basically went to one of his comment section that says stay in your own lane. And the reason why he didn't take off in this space so much is because he had a white wife. I guarantee you, if that guy were single and he kept talking about the space, he'd have been just like Cohen. But the thing is, like I said, I'm not upset with the fact that he got all those black girls over there, all the divestors, all the bed wenches, all the bitter baby mamas. I'm not even upset with that. But it's like this. He used that to kind of shit on black men as a collective. And I never liked white dudes doing that shit. Never liked it. I never liked it. If you're a white guy and you sitting up there trying to sneak diss black dudes, humble yourself. Or even coming out blatantly and say it. Humble yourself if you're around me. I don't know if a lot of you guys are like that. I know a lot of you guys have departed that mindset, but no. I will always stay on code against that. I don't care. Fuck all the black women you want. I'm not going to ever be the guy that says, go white boy, go white boy, go white boy. That shit makes me sick. But any white guy that attacks us, we should be like, nah, fuck that shit. But you know what we do? We let them slide. And that's all I'll say about that. Yeah, that's right, Marco Ross. Respect is respect. Now, let me check something real quick. And everybody, like I said, thanks for tuning in. Press like for the algorithm. Let's grow this channel as much as possible. There's a lot of things that I have to say to the people. You know, yeah, and it's really one thing that is really tough to talk about these things is like because it is and it's not tough because I am not in any way, shape, or form intimidated by white folks, and that's just the way I grew up. The thing that makes it tough is that a lot of us are just not on code with it. Hurry up and buy what's going on. A lot of us ain't on code. I'm pretty sure if a white person came in this chat and started cutting the fool, I'm pretty sure you guys would jump on them because they know where they can go and where they cannot go. But when we see an attack from the outside, that's when I believe we should be on code. But it's like going in Cohen's comment section, there's no real point to it. So it's like this. If I drop a link and one of them had the courage to jump on the link, then I'll let them know then. I've had a white guy before, and I pretty much told him what his place was amongst us. I ain't never ever been shy about that. Never. Never been shy. I mean, I done worked on jobs where my superiors were white, and I'll tell them just like that. I would tell them what their place was. It eventually didn't work out for me, but I didn't give a fuck about that. I don't give racism a pass. Even if racism is not our biggest problem at this point, I don't give it a pass, and I never will. So I would like for my people to not continue to disappoint me as far as that. And let me tell y'all something about black men fucking white women. Fuck as many of them broads as you like. I do not care. I see it as a conquest. I see it like let me tell you something about the guy I just mentioned. He's probably upset because he got because the dude looked like he's experimented quite a bit. Like on stuff that we wouldn't do. like drugs we ain't never heard of. I'm not saying he did that because I don't want to step into the realm of slander. But he looks like he's been rejected by his own women. So he has to come over here and come on the internet and get validation. And he's, like I said, he's using a brilliant content strategy. He's using a bunch of B dubs that's not blaming themselves for how things are as far as in relation to the black man. They don't want to look at the fact that they have horrible fucking attitudes. They don't want to look at the fact that they have been very adversarial toward us, philosophically and in public. That word we like to use, no accountability, zero accountability. And it's like Roger said, for what they have put on display and the things that they justify on a day-to-day basis, they just aren't good people. And this is me who is married to one, saying that the general populace of B-dubs aren't good people. Look at how they have addressed us publicly. Look at people like Jamel Hill. Jamel Hill saying things like, and y'all know who Jamel Hill is. I made a video about her before. She what she said is she don't understand why so many black men now are making podcasts that are saying things about like really she was making it like that. We're just sitting up here and we're just bashing black women and we're just making them look bad. And she also stated that Well, I honestly don't see black women gaslighting black men like that. And see, that's exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. Greg, what's going on? Yeah, Greg, I said, I know I've said this before, but you are the sponsor for tonight's stream, seeing that you gave the biggest donation yesterday, and that's how I do the. Whoever gives the bigger donations on the previous stream, I will make them the sponsor for the next stream. So, Mr. Z, he says, Kev, I will argue that racism is still our biggest problem. Black women and their infinite anger and delusion is being used as a weapon against straight black men. Hybrid catastrophic impact X83rd power is Amanda Seals black. She's another piece of crap. Yeah. Yeah, Amanda Seals, like, Amanda Seals really revealed herself with that situation with Myron Rolle. And, she was doing it to a level to where she wasn't even presenting that hardcore solid evidence like that. She was just saying some women contacted her and described a guy who sounded a lot like Myron Rolle. Greg was like, she evil. Yeah, yeah, she is evil. Indigenous TV says Amanda Seals is a light skinned Karen who can't find a man, so she's mad at brothers. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That could be true. And she dumb as fuck. So yeah. So let me see. Let me look at some of these comments. LaShawn Jefferson, I just was head down. Get yours and just save the case. Gramp scared me and PAN across the face. Anyone didn't don't quite understand that, but let's see. Yeah, but the the fact that they publicly desecrate us, and I have to say, more black men, and you can believe it, I'm lying if you want to, but more black men publicly support black women than black women publicly support black men. Mr. Mitchell say, I always disagree that we are our biggest enemy. The whole reason this happened in the first place is because of racism. In non-Western countries, these are not issues for black people. Hmm. I don't know, because I've seen examples where black people have had to deal with racism in other countries. Like I forgot, there's this soccer player that like he will go to foreign countries and play the game, and mostly the foreign Caucasian people would make monkey sounds every time he come out, and they start calling him derogatory names. And one of them actually started cursing back at the crowd, and he was punished. Yeah, I don't know. It is what it is, and that's one thing that we should have a better job of do a better job with, is that how we as blacks, when racism does show up, how we handle it. And I don't think that we do a pretty good job handling it. Now, you have a faction in black YouTube that calls themselves B1, but they're always, like, for some reason, praising the white man and shitting on black men. Now, that's off code than a motherfucker. Yeah, they have one of the strongest followings in YouTube, in Black YouTube. Greg, Greg says like China treatment of Africans. Shoot. Now, how is that China treats Africans bad on their turf, but Africans are very welcoming of the Chinese? That's something that that's something that escapes my understanding. Mr. Mystery said, yes, we deal with racism in other countries, but what I am saying is that black men and black women are not at each other's throats everywhere like here in the US. Oh, okay. Indigenous TV, the best revenge is when you smash the Becky all the Brads want. Yeah, I believe like that is what like if any if any problem that the Brads have with us is that we are smashing the Beckys, not we as in me. I don't do that, but brother smashing Becky, addicted to the BBC. So they like Cohen is nothing but a representation of them trying to get back at us for that. But see, what they don't understand is we are more so along the lines telling them that hey, you can have them. It's like you can have them bitches, man. We don't care. Go ahead, smash all you want. They've already shown their disloyalty to us. All right. Shoot. Cash app from Greg. Appreciate that. And he says for LLTHLS, long live the habitual line steppers. Long live, brother. Thanks for your support on the Cash App. Seriously. Mr. Z says, Kev, Amanda Seals' problem is that she is smart, forceful, light-skinned woman who think people care. She is a rebel without a cause. Like many B-dubs, she treats insult black men like a revolutionary act. That seems to be a that seems to be a regular thing at this point. You'll get a B dub in the spotlight, and they believe in order to gain some type of traction that they have to insult black men, such as Janelle Monet. Like Janelle Monet, she excuse me, she has come out as non-binary, and I believe non-binary means that, and I really don't care to support anything like that. I think that doctrine is trash. But whatever the spirit moves her, if she feels a little male, she's gonna be a male. If she feels a little female, she's gonna feel a little female. What I don't get is she's non-binary, but she's a feminist. How in the hell can you be a non-binary feminist? She said that she'll always put her support behind the black woman, but she has a very disdainful bias against black men. And she was in that movie Hidden Figures, gawking at Zaddy, which was which was a made up insert character for that movie. The white savior complex. It's like how in the hell you gonna call yourself non-binary, but you have a disdain for black men? You're supposed to be able to identify with black men and black women, but I'm not here to tell anybody what non-binary should be because, like I said, I believe it's stupid anyway. Marco Ross says proxies exactly. Yeah. Let's see what I'm looking like here as far as the likes and everybody in here. Everybody in here, hopefully you pressed a like and it's for the algorithm. Jamil Sora, when can call black women traitors and treasonous? They're literally moving up in society, shitting on us. Yeah. And, I know people get tired of people mentioning the color purple, but I'll go ahead and talk about this and then I'll probably, you know. But here's the thing about the color purple. It is revered as one of the greatest black movies in history by your average low vibrational black person, who loves the media, who loves TV. The book was written by Alice Walker. Alice Walker, at the time that she wrote the book, was married to a white man. That white man ended up divorcing her because, like most white men, he probably found out that she was just with him on the strength of him being white. Then the movie got picked up by Steven Spielberg and Kathleen Kennedy, two more white people, and it was translated into film. Now, every black guy that starred in that film, one thing that I never understood is how in the hell did they participate in such bullshit? Granted that two of those black men were Danny Glover and Lawrence Fishburne. But what even got me is like I saw a video coming to my feed, and it was basically two white guys that did like nostalgic movie reviews, and they reviewed The Color Purple, and they acted like, oh my god, it was one of the greatest, most saddest films ever. I mean, they were in the thumbnail like they were about to cry, and in the comment section were a bunch of B dubs. I can't believe that this movie got snubbed for nominations, and then I'm like, this movie was one of the worst films in history. Mr. Mister said it was just a paycheck for them. I mean, still though, they didn't say anything about how that movie was going. Especially like when Danny Glover said that it was difficult for him to shoot the scene where he was prying the sisters apart from each other and kicking one of them out. I wonder how he felt with that scene that he ran them cookies and that milk out to that mailman. Oh God! But we were so forgiving. Mr. Z says that Kev Janelle Monet is another. It's a revolution act not to be heterosexual type women. She used a lot of words and said nothing. Yep. Jamil Sora. Okay. Now he's responding to Indigenous TV. He said Jamil Sword is okay. Just get Becky on your side and parade her around in public at a place Keisha frequents. Man, you asking that man to get a lot of dirty looks. Cause I used to date a chick, and it was like every time we would go out, she would like point it. She will point out. Um, she will point out whenever she saw a black dude with a white girl. She will point it out. But one thing I noticed about this particular one was whenever she saw a white dude with a black girl, she act like she ain't see it. And I was sitting up there like, oh, you one of them. Most High's Armor says some people can't wait to bring out the milk and cookies. Yeah, depending on what context you're using. But listen up, guys. I think I'm going ahead and bring this to an end. And what I will do is I will take the time to say thank you for watching and supporting. Definitely, if you haven't been getting all of my notifications, and I believe everyone that's watching it in the clouds is sub to me, go below the screen and go to your notifications and make sure that you're hitting all the notifications. Check out my pre-recorded downloads. Um, I just did this news story, and it kind of hit me in the chest. And definitely like go check it out after I get off the air. Um, the news story was basically about this grandmother getting mad with a 4 year old, and for sipping alcohol, which you're not supposed to really leave alcohol in the reach of a child or anything that is looks like it's halfway consumable. Because the point I made in the video, we're all aware of the law. You're not supposed to be giving kids alcohol. She got so mad with the kid for sipping the alcohol, which was about out of a bottle of Canadian Mist, that she made the child get on the knees in the hallway and finish the bottle of Canadian Mist. And the mother stood there and watched it happen. And the child ended up dying from acute alcohol poisoning. It's like this shit was crazy. And I got so pissed. It's like when you look at stories like that, you lose a little bit of faith in our people. And I can see when people say that racism may not be our biggest problem. You know, but definitely check that news story out because I'm finna get out of this piece. Indigenous TV says, "Damn." Mr. Mister says, "What the fuck?" Yeah, sad shit. It's really sad shit, man. Destro 0861. Is there a Destro 0861 in here? 'Cause I don't see him up here. Anyway, yeah, if you're here, salute. Hold on 1 second. Oh, there he is. What's going on, Destro 0861? What's going on? But anyway, listen up, guys. I can guarantee you this. I can guarantee you this. Whether you believe that racism is our biggest problem or not, just like just look at and how okay, if you are a black guy that is banging white girls, but you're not criticizing our people, which is most of the case, and a lot of black guys that are uh, fucking Becky, then I get it. That's not what I'm talking about. But if you are letting white people come in and out and saying what they want to say about us, and with that respect, like not even like honest, truthful things, then you might need to check yourselves. I get it. We deal with bad experiences in our own communities, and it's because of the profound impact that racism has had on us. But one thing that I will guarantee to you guys is that I will never be off code. I will never be off code. I know how because I know how to check one of them, and they know where they're welcome at, and they know where they're not. And racist white people are definitely not welcome on this platform. They might be welcome on some of you guys, but not with me. But at the end of the day, we need to work on us. We need to like not just doing this big old virtue signal that saying we need like because a lot of the time we don't know how to handle racism and we handle it the wrong way. It's just something that we need to work on and experiment with and improve with time. But to be off code, nah, that's some fuck shit. But anyway, I'm about to get out of here. Thanks for watching the broadcast and supporting the channel as always. Once again, Greg, thank you for the Cash App. You've been very good with the channel and everything and supporting the brand. Uh, and also, thanks to all of you that keep this chat moving. Uh, and just try to get on code. I mean, try it. I guarantee it is something that you guys will like a lot better than what we're going through right now. And the last thing I will say is black men are seriously far more on code than black women. So take care of yourselves, guys, and see you guys tomorrow night. The subject is y'all love hoes admitted. I might change that because I don't know really how to go into that and keep up a strong broadcast. But you know, we shall see. So long live the habitual line steppers and Kev we trust. I'm gonna win. We are gonna win. Peace out.